In our modern world, some people see problems and wish for a solution. Others see problems and decide to build the solution themselves, no matter how difficult it seems. Elon Musk is one of those builders, a man who looks at the grand challenges facing humanity and doesn't just ask why, but how can I fix this? He is an inventor, an engineer, and a businessman whose name is now synonymous with futuristic ideas and incredible ambition. He is the mind behind electric cars that drive themselves and rockets that land back on Earth. He wants to connect our brains to computers and build a city on another planet. To many, he is a real-life Tony Stark, a figure who dares to turn science fiction into science fact. His journey is a powerful story about believing in an idea so strongly that you are willing to risk everything for it. He did not start with a vast fortune or a famous family name. He started with a love for books and a powerful imagination. His work has shaken up industries that have been the same for 100 years, like the automotive industry and aerospace. He challenges the old ways of thinking and shows that with enough willpower and intelligence, the impossible can become possible. His story is not just about building successful companies, it is about a relentless drive to secure a better, more exciting future for all of humanity, a future that extends far beyond the confines of our own planet. The companies he leads, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, The Boring Company, are more than just businesses. They are missions. Each one is designed to tackle a fundamental problem. Tesla is his answer to the world's dependence on fossil fuels, offering a path to sustainable energy. SpaceX was born from his fear that humanity was not making progress in space exploration, so he decided to make space travel cheaper and more accessible himself. He dreams big, on a scale that few can comprehend. While some business leaders focus on the next financial quarter, Musk focuses on the next century, and the long-term survival and flourishing of our species. Understanding Elon Musk is to understand the power of a singular vision. He has faced ridicule, doubt, and moments where his entire empire was on the verge of collapse. Yet through it all, his belief in his goals never wavered. This is the story of a man who read about rockets in books as a child, and then grew up to build them himself. It is a tale of incredible resilience, stunning innovation, and an unyielding quest to push the boundaries of what is possible. He is not just building cars and rockets, he is building a legacy of inspiration, proving that one person's determination can indeed change the world, and perhaps even lead us to new ones. Elon Musk's incredible journey began not in the tech hubs of California, but in Pretoria, South Africa, where he was born in 1971. From a very young age, it was clear that he was different. He was often lost in his own world, thinking so deeply that his parents sometimes worried he might be deaf. But he was not deaf. He was dreaming. His mind was a universe of ideas and questions. Instead of playing outside like many other children, Elon found his greatest adventures inside the pages of books. He read everything he could get his hands on, from encyclopedias to science fiction novels. He would spend hours in the local library, consuming information like it was air. This intense love for reading gave him a vast and deep well of knowledge to draw from later in life. His childhood was not always easy. He was a small, quiet, and bookish boy, which made him a target for bullies at school. He faced difficult times, feeling like an outsider who did not quite fit in. However, these tough experiences helped forge a strong sense of determination within him. He learned to be resilient and to rely on his own mind. His family life was also complex. His parents divorced when he was young, and he chose to live mostly with his father, an engineer. This environment, filled with technical discussions and projects, further fueled his interest in how things worked. He was not just a reader, he was a thinker and a tinkerer from his earliest days. The moment technology entered his life, everything changed. When he was around 10 years old, he got his first computer, a Commodore VIC-20. It was a very basic machine, but to Elon it was a gateway to a new universe. The computer came with a manual on programming, which he reportedly finished in just 3 days, a task that was supposed to take 6 months. He taught himself how to write code, and soon, he was creating his own video games. At the age of 12, he created a space-themed video game called Blastar. He sold the code for this game to a computer magazine for about $500. This was his first taste of being an entrepreneur, of turning an idea from his mind into a real product that had value. This early success was a sign of what was to come. It showed that Elon had a unique ability to not only learn complex subjects quickly, but also to apply that knowledge in practical and creative ways. His childhood in South Africa was a period of intense learning, deep thinking, and overcoming adversity. He was building the mental tools he would need for the enormous challenges he would later choose to take on. The boy who loved books about space was already, in his own way, taking his first small steps toward the stars. He knew, even then, that his future was not in South Africa. He had his eyes set on a place where big dreams were built: America. As a teenager in South Africa, Elon Musk felt a growing sense of limitation. He saw the political and social turmoil of the apartheid era, and knew that opportunities for his grand ambitions were scarce. He dreamed of America, a land he saw as the epicenter of innovation and possibility, the place where new technologies were born and where people were not afraid to change the world. He believed America was where the future was being written, and he was determined to be one of its authors. His desire to move was not just about personal success, it was about finding an environment where his wildest ideas could take root and grow. The path to America was not direct. His mother was Canadian-born, which provided him with a potential route to North America. At 17, after finishing high school, he made the bold decision to leave South Africa on his own. He moved to Canada, enrolling at Queen's University in Ontario. This move was a huge leap of faith. He arrived with little money and had to work tough, low-paying jobs to support himself. He worked on a farm, shoveled grain, and even cleaned out the boiler room of a lumber mill. These experiences were humbling but reinforced his work ethic and his resolve to build a different life. After 2 years at Queen's University, Elon finally got his chance to move to the United States. He transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school, where he could immerse himself in subjects that fascinated him most. He pursued 2 degrees at the same time, one in physics and one in economics from the prestigious Wharton School. This dual focus was intentional. He wanted to understand the fundamental laws of the universe through physics, but also the systems of the business world through economics. He believed that to truly make an impact, he needed to master both the science of invention and the art of building a company. His time at university was intense focus. He was not there to party, he was there to learn. He thought deeply about what areas of technology would most affect humanity's future. He identified 3 key areas: the internet, sustainable energy, and space exploration. He saw these fields as the frontiers where the next great chapter of human history would be written. After graduating, he was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University in California, the heart of Silicon Valley. But the pull of the internet boom was too strong. After only 2 days at Stanford, he dropped out, deciding he could not just study the future, he had to start building it. With his formal education behind him, Elon Musk, along with his brother Kimball, jumped headfirst into the digital gold rush of the 1990s. They had very little money, so they started their first company, Zip2, with incredible grit and determination. They rented a small office in Palo Alto, and for the first few months they lived there because they couldn't afford an apartment. They slept on a futon, showered at the local YMCA, and ate at the cheapest restaurants they could find. They had one computer, and during the day, the website ran on it. At night, Elon would code on it, working tirelessly to bring their vision to life. This was the raw beginning of his entrepreneurial journey, fueled by passion and sheer willpower. The idea behind Zip2 was simple yet revolutionary for its time. It was an online city guide, essentially a primitive version of Google Maps and Yelp combined. The company provided newspapers with software that would allow them to offer their readers online directories and maps. In an era when most businesses were still trying to understand what the internet was, Zip2 offered a practical way for them to get online and connect with customers. Elon was the technical genius behind the operation, writing the complex code that made the service work. He was completely dedicated, often working all day and all night to fix bugs and improve the product. Building the company was a constant struggle. Elon and Kimball had to convince investors and newspaper executives that the internet was not just a passing fad. They faced rejection and skepticism. There were intense disagreements within the company about its direction. Elon, with his strong vision, often clashed with the board of directors and the CEO they had brought in. He wanted to push the technology further and faster, while others were more cautious. These early experiences taught him valuable, if sometimes painful, lessons about running a company, managing people, and dealing with investors. He learned that having a great idea was only the beginning. Executing it was the real challenge. Despite the difficulties, Zip2 grew. Its technology was solid, and it signed up major clients like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. The company was becoming a success story of the early internet era. In 1999, just 4 years after they had started it while sleeping in their office, the computer company Compaq acquired Zip2 for over $300 million. Elon Musk's share from the sale was about $22 million. At the age of 28, he was a millionaire. But for him, the money was not the ultimate goal. It was the proof that he could turn a complex idea into a successful business, and it provided him with the capital he needed to chase even bigger, more audacious dreams. After the success of Zip2, Elon Musk didn't take a vacation or retire. Instead, he immediately poured his newfound wealth into his next venture, driven by an even bigger idea to revolutionize the entire financial industry. In 1999, he co-founded X.com, which was one of the very first online banks. His vision was to create a one-stop financial service on the internet where people could handle all their banking, investments, and payments. It was an incredibly ambitious goal, honestly, attempting to disrupt an industry that was ancient and deeply resistant to change. He believed that money was becoming digital, and he wanted to build the platform that would manage it all. At the same time, another company called Confinity, founded by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin, was working on a similar problem. They had developed a popular service for sending money between Palm Pilots, which they named PayPal. They soon realized, though, that the real potential was in sending money over email. X.com and Confinity were direct competitors, both fighting to become the leader in the emerging world of online payments. The competition was fierce, but both companies quickly recognized that they would be stronger together. In 2000, X.com and Confinity merged, keeping the X.com name for the parent company, but focusing on the popular PayPal product. The merger was not a smooth process. There were major clashes between the leaders, especially between Elon Musk and other key figures. They disagreed on everything from the company's name, Musk favored X.com while others preferred PayPal, to the underlying technology that should be used. These internal battles created a tense and challenging environment. While Elon Musk was on a trip to Australia, the board of directors made a decision to oust him as CEO, replacing him with Peter Thiel. Despite being removed from the leadership role in the company he had helped build, Musk remained a major shareholder and continued to believe in its potential. In 2002, the online auction giant eBay saw the immense value of PayPal. It had become the favorite payment method for its users. eBay acquired PayPal for a staggering $1.5 billion. As the largest shareholder, Elon Musk's portion of the sale was over $180 million after taxes. This was a fortune that could have let him live a life of luxury forever. But again, Musk had no interest in retiring. This massive success gave him the freedom and the resources to pursue the dreams he had been holding on to since his university days. The dreams that were not just about the internet, but about sustainable energy and space exploration. The PayPal era was over, but the age of Tesla and SpaceX was about to begin. After conquering the internet, Elon Musk turned his attention to a much older and more established industry: automobiles. He was deeply concerned about climate change and the world's heavy reliance on oil. He believed that the future had to be electric, but at the time, electric cars were seen as little more than glorified golf carts, slow, ugly, and with very limited range. Musk had a radically different vision. He wanted to build an electric car that was not just better for the environment, but was also a better car in every way. It had to be faster, safer, and more beautiful than any gasoline-powered car on the road. He wanted to prove that you did not have to compromise to drive electric. In 2004, he discovered a small startup called Tesla Motors, founded by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. They shared his vision of building a high-performance electric sports car. Musk invested heavily in the company, becoming its chairman and leading the product design. The first car they developed was the Tesla Roadster. It was a bold statement. Based on a lightweight Lotus chassis, it was powered by thousands of lithium-ion battery cells, the same kind found in laptops. The result was a car that could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds and travel over 200 miles on a single charge. It was unlike any electric vehicle the world had ever seen. The journey to create the Roadster was incredibly difficult. Tesla faced enormous technical challenges, from managing the heat of the battery pack to developing a reliable transmission. The project was plagued by delays and went far over budget. Many experts in the auto industry said it was impossible and predicted that Tesla would fail spectacularly. Musk poured more and more of his own money into the company, pushing the engineering team relentlessly to solve problem after problem. He was known for his intense, hands-on approach, diving into the smallest details of the car's design and engineering. He believed that every single part of the car had to be excellent. Finally, in 2008, the Tesla Roadster went into production. It was a triumph of engineering and a powerful symbol of what was possible. Although it was an expensive, low-volume car, it was never meant to be the final goal. The Roadster was just the first step in Musk's secret master plan. The plan was to use the money from the high-end sports car to develop a more affordable sedan, and then use the money from that sedan to create an even more affordable car for the masses. This step-by-step strategy would allow Tesla to gradually build the scale and technology needed to truly bring electric vehicles to everyone and accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. While he was busy reinventing the automobile with Tesla, Elon Musk was simultaneously pursuing an even more audacious goal, making humanity a multi-planetary species. He was frustrated that government space agencies like NASA were not making faster progress towards sending humans to Mars. He feared that if humanity remained on only one planet, it would eventually face an extinction event, whether from a giant asteroid, a supervolcano, or a self-inflicted disaster. For Musk, colonizing Mars was not just a cool idea from science fiction, it was a critical insurance policy for the long-term survival of consciousness. He believed it was the most important mission of our time. His first idea was not to build rockets himself. He tried to buy refurbished Russian intercontinental ballistic missiles to send a small greenhouse to Mars, a project he called Mars Oasis. He hoped this mission would inspire the public and encourage governments to increase their space budgets. However, he found the Russian rockets to be incredibly expensive, and he felt he was not being taken seriously. On the flight back from Moscow, he had an epiphany. He pulled out a spreadsheet and started calculating the costs of building a rocket from scratch. He realized that the raw materials needed were only a small fraction of the final price. The real problem was that rockets were thrown away after every launch, making spaceflight prohibitively expensive. And so, in 2002, he founded Space Exploration Technologies, or SpaceX. His goal was to revolutionize the aerospace industry by creating reusable rockets. The idea was radical and met with widespread disbelief. For decades, the giants of the industry had considered reusability impossible or impractical. Musk and his small team of brilliant engineers set out to prove them wrong. They designed and built their first rocket, the Falcon 1, from the ground up. The early days were incredibly difficult. Their first 3 launches all ended in spectacular failures. Each explosion was a devastating blow, burning through the limited money Musk had invested from his PayPal fortune. With only enough money left for one more attempt, the 4th launch of the Falcon 1 had to work. In September 2008, the rocket successfully reached orbit, making SpaceX the first privately funded company to ever do so. It was a historic moment that saved the company from bankruptcy and proved that Musk's approach could work. This success led to a crucial contract from NASA to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. From there, SpaceX developed the larger Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon spacecraft. The ultimate achievement of their vision came when they successfully landed the first stage of the Falcon 9 back on Earth, a feat that will forever change the economics of space travel. The year 2008 was the darkest period in Elon Musk's professional life. It was a time when both of his monumental ventures, Tesla and SpaceX, were teetering on the edge of utter collapse. The global financial crisis was raging, making it nearly impossible to raise money. At SpaceX, the first 3 Falcon 1 launches had failed, each one a fiery and expensive disaster. He was down to his last attempt, and if it failed, SpaceX would be finished. At the same time, Tesla was burning through cash at an alarming rate as it struggled to get the Roadster into production. The company was hemorrhaging money with every car it built, and was just weeks away from bankruptcy. The pressure on Musk was immense, beyond what most people could ever imagine. He had invested almost all of his personal fortune from the PayPal sale into these 2 companies. He was working 7 days a week, sleeping on the factory floor, and flying back and forth between SpaceX headquarters in Los Angeles and Tesla's in Silicon Valley. The media and industry experts were predicting his downfall, calling him a failure and his companies a joke. He was facing not only professional ruin but also personal financial ruin. He described the feeling as chewing glass and staring into the abyss. It was a period of unbelievable stress and hardship. In these darkest hours, Musk's incredible resilience and unwavering belief in his missions shone through. He refused to give up. He pushed his teams harder than ever, demanding solutions and refusing to accept defeat. He believed so deeply in the importance of sustainable energy and space exploration that failure was simply not an option in his mind. He scraped together every last bit of funding he could find, even borrowing money to make payroll. His passion was contagious, inspiring his employees to work just as hard and to continue believing in the shared dream, even when everything looked hopeless. Then, in the final months of 2008, the tide began to turn in a dramatic fashion. In September, SpaceX's fourth Falcon 9 launch was a spectacular success, reaching orbit and proving the viability of their technology. This single victory was a lifeline. Just before Christmas, the miracle they needed happened again. NASA awarded SpaceX a massive $1.6 billion contract to fly cargo to the International Space Station. At the very same time, Tesla managed to secure a last-minute round of funding from investors, saving it from bankruptcy with literally hours to spare. Musk had stared into the abyss and had not blinked. He had risked everything and against all odds, had won. Having survived the brink of failure, Elon Musk and his companies have gone on to achieve things that have fundamentally changed the world. Tesla is no longer a small startup. It is the world's most valuable car company, and has forced the entire automotive industry to pivot toward an electric future. The Model S, Model 3, Model X and Model Y are now common sights on roads around the globe, proving that electric cars can be desirable, practical, and mainstream. Tesla's work extends beyond cars to include solar energy products and massive battery storage systems, all part of Musk's grand vision for a world powered by clean, sustainable energy from the sun. SpaceX has completely transformed our access to space. Its reusable Falcon 9 rockets have made launching satellites dramatically cheaper, dominating the global launch market. The company regularly sends astronauts to the International Space Station, restoring America's ability to launch humans into orbit. But this is all just a prelude to Musk's ultimate goal, Mars. SpaceX is currently developing Starship, a colossal, fully reusable rocket designed to carry up to 100 people to the Red Planet. His dream of building a self-sustaining city on Mars, once the stuff of science fiction, is now a tangible engineering project that gets closer to reality with every test flight. Musk's ambitions do not stop with cars and rockets. He has founded other companies to tackle other fundamental challenges. Neuralink is working on brain-computer interfaces, with the goal of helping people with paralysis and creating a symbiotic relationship between human and artificial intelligence. The Boring Company aims to solve soul-destroying city traffic by digging networks of tunnels for high-speed underground transport. Each venture is connected by Musk's underlying philosophy to use technology to solve big problems and secure a better future for humanity. Elon Musk's story is a testament to the power of thinking big and refusing to accept the limits of today. He is a controversial and complex figure, but there is no denying his impact. He has shown that a determined individual with a clear vision can challenge giant industries, rewrite the rules of technology, and inspire millions to dream of a more exciting future. He continues to work with incredible urgency, driven by the belief that humanity is at a critical turning point. Whether he is launching rockets, building cars, or dreaming of cities on Mars, Elon Musk is not just waiting for the future to happen. He is actively, relentlessly, and boldly building it, one incredible invention at a time.